Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Zack Olinger. In this podcast series, I talk about relationships. Now, I know, as a man, you may not want to talk about relationships, or you may even tell me that the relationship that you're in is already pretty good. But I'm going to invite you to consider this. Could you be a little bit more fulfilled in the relationship that you have? I would like to have you consider that there may be other ways to kind of see the conflicts that are truly just unnecessary that we all experience in a different light. And if you're open to receiving or just giving me a little bit of your time, then I look forward to my guests and I inspiring you to become a man that can have more freedom, less conflict, and more pleasure in their relationships. Thanks for joining me.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me on another episode of the Real Zack Olinger. Today, I have Lincoln, who's going to speak with us about family relationships, and pretty excited about that because I know we all have family and we've all got a relationship of one sort or another with the different people within our family. So this is definitely an important topic to me, as I know that I have been navigating some of that over late 2020 into 2021. So appreciate it. Thanks for joining us, Lincoln. So I'll just kind of hand it over to you and we'll just keep rolling with it.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you this afternoon. And, family, Zach, family. We don't choose our family.
Right.
We do not choose, like, I don't know anybody who can say, well, before I was born, I saw this man and this woman, and I went to them and I said, I want you to be my daddy, and I want you to be my mommy. Go do your thing and have me.
Right.
There's a higher power, a divine authority, a creator is the one who chooses our family. Mm-hmm. And he knows best for us. He knows best for us. And he has me personally in the family that I am in right now. And my role is to make the best of it and to be a good steward of the 5 children that he has given me. Mm-hmm. The thing is, as we look at family, as they grow up from a baby, sometimes you wish they would stay 5, 6 years old all the time and never grow up.
Right.
Because when they were like 5, 6 years old, they're hanging on to daddy's feet and they're hanging on, and I want to be like you when I grow up, kind of deal. And then they grow up and what happened? Now you have to, it's so funny that you want to talk to them because they no longer live in the same house like you do. Like me, my daughter and one of my sons, my second son lives in Las Vegas, and then my oldest son lives in Dallas, Texas. My second to last son, he just moved to Vegas with his sister and his other brother. And then my youngest, who is now an attorney, graduated from University of Miami Law School, moved back home because he's getting married soon and he's going to save some money, kind of, it would make sense. And he's home in the house, but he's living his own life and I can't get in his way. Mm-hmm. He's an adult now. The kid is going to be 31 in December. I have to respect that. I have to respect their space, kind of deal. And although I want to chat, I want to go play golf with him. Hey, let's go play pool, kind of deal. But he's got his friends, he's got his girlfriend, he's got a fiance, kind of deal. I can't get in the way. It's not easy. Don't get me wrong, buddy. It's not easy, but I have to that's love. And the Bible says, what love that a man would lay down his life for his brother. Meaning, lay down our desires, our want, give it up for the people who you love. That's true love. That's genuine love. Like today, man. Today is my daughter's birthday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. My daughter's birthday, and I sent her a text. I said, I want to talk to you today. I had to text her. I'm still waiting for her to call and text me back. I have to ask, what time is a good time to call you? And to me, respect is part of love.
For sure.
Respect is part of love and family. Again, she's an adult. She's got her own business, kind of deal. She's very aggressive, highly, achiever, and I admire that about her. But hey, daddy wants to hear your voice now and again.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, love is something you cannot force.
Right.
You cannot force. And what helps me as a parent of adult children, what helps me is that parable of the prodigal son in the Bible. When we read that parable, most of the time before I became a parent, I used to focus on the prodigal son. I said, what a guy, he just took everything left and wasted kind of deal. But then I started focusing on the father
Mm-hmm.
and the role that the father played. Zach, the father had all the wherewithal to go chase after his son. He did not.
Mm-hmm.
He waited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that man must have prayed like I pray for my children every night and sometimes during the day, that one day he will come to his senses. Because the parable tells us he was waiting, he was looking up, he was expecting. He just didn't know when.
Mm-hmm.
And then look at that, just visualize that scene where the father runs out when he sees his son coming in a distance. And remember, this guy was living in a pig pen. So can you imagine how he was smelling?
Right.
The father then said, hey, wait, go take a shower. No, he hugged him. Welcome home, son. Welcome home. Welcome home, son.
Yeah.
And that is the role when we get to this, when our kids get to this age and become adult, that's the role we play.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an easy role, Zach, but that's the role we play.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing you and I were talking about earlier, 5 of them, I'm their father. They got my genes and all of them, but they're all different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You see, I coach, I teach leadership, and I learned from Ken Blanchard that leadership is not a one-size-fits-all.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is different. You got to treat everybody different. In this, we learn that people communicate differently. There are some people, they just communicate one word. Yeah, I'm busy kind of deal. It doesn't mean they don't love you, but that's their way, that's their style. And when we learn to acknowledge that, appreciate that everybody is different, everybody can't be like me, and
Right.
love somebody for who they are, for who our Lord created them to be.
Right.
No, you really, and guess what, Zach? Your stress goes away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I tell my kids all the time, only the people who you really love can hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about the 5 of days. My oldest son, at least once a week, Mark is his name, he calls me. And I appreciate that. And sometimes during the week, whenever he has a big decision to make, he will call his dad to say, hey, Dad, I'm thinking about this. What do you think? The others, no.
Not so much.
No. And they're so different.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to appreciate that difference and that uniqueness about them. And then you can see a little bit of me in, like, my Lester, my second son, he's a coach. I coach soccer. I coach people now, adults now, but I coach soccer and cricket and all in the Caribbean islands. Mm-hmm. So you can see then the other one, Brian, what a gifted musician. He didn't get that from me.
Right, right.
He did not get that from me. But his personality, his outgoing personality, he's not afraid of getting on stage.
Mm-hmm.
That's me, kind of deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they get a little bit of you, but they're not an imprint of you. They're not a duplicate of you. And that's what makes it so interesting. So interesting. And love your family for who they are, not who you want them to be.
Yeah.
And then, like we were sharing earlier, family is a gift from the Holy Spirit. He put you there for a purpose. Mm-hmm. You didn't choose your family. He chose your family for you. Mm-hmm. So You choose your friends, and I've had some friends who, after a time, we had different values, and then I said, no, I got to get away from this relationship kind of deal. I've had some girlfriends in the past when I was younger, and I had to say, okay, this is not working out, kind of. But my family, I cannot divorce my family. I cannot. I can wait. I can wait. I can be quiet and wait, but they're always there. They have my number. I'm always available to my family. People say family comes first, and I don't have to tell them. I just cancel the meeting to do something for you. No, that's my choice. They don't have to know that. So family, buddy, and we all have our quarrels and our disagreements. When we are growing up with my sister, we always were fighting and arguing kind of deal about something. Got to find something to argue about. And now we are almost inseparable.
Yeah.
My older brother, I learned a lot from him what to do, and I also learned what not to do.
Right.
And that's the other thing about learning. We learn what to do, what not to do.
Yes.
And we got to be reasonable and smart about it. This will hurt me or this will help me. And nobody intend to teach somebody evil unless they're really a devil kind of deal, but nobody intend to. They live in their life. We have to be selective and choose, and choose.
Right.
What's the best for us. Yeah, Zach?
Yeah, I definitely agree with the power of choice, for sure. And I love the parts about like the respect and just letting them be, like not having expectations of how you want them to be, just loving them for who they are. I think it's a huge, huge piece. And that I think transcends into all of our relationships, because I think that's where a lot of conflict comes from, because we have an idea of how we would like things to be, and it doesn't really always line up with how things truly are. And so just accepting what is and loving that is really like a key thing. And like you said, once you come to that awareness and realization and embrace that, then your stress and your worry, like all of that kind of anxiety and negativity that you feel inside of yourself totally dissolves. And it absolutely dissolves. And I agree that that's definitely a key piece to real love, is recognizing that you might have an idea of how somebody should be, or that you expect them to be, versus how they really are. And then coming to just love and accept what the reality is, like how they really are, and just being like, okay, that's just how it is. Yeah.
And you see, the other thing is people change.
Yes, absolutely.
People change, and some of the changes, they have no control over the changes. We have control how we respond to the changes, but we have, like, my hair is turned white. I have no control over that. I have control whether I choose to dye it or not.
Right.
I choose not to dye my hair. That's I've made a resolution that I will never dye my hair. This is how the Lord created me, and this is how I want to be. And you know what, Zach? I'm getting more compliments about my hair now than when it was totally black. Then, I remember my two younger boys, when they were like 14 and 16, they come to me and they said, Dad, in those days, earrings for guys were kind of popular, the in thing. Dad, we want to get some earrings. I look at them and I said, how can you improve on God's creation? Zach, like they expected me to say that. They had an answer waiting for me. And these two boys, like if they knew what I was going to say, they said, Dad, we're not improving. We're just decorating. I said, all right, boys. When you turn 18, you can decorate as much as you want. Oh my God. And then I was the next time, tattoos, was the next thing. They come to me, hey, Dad, we want to get a tattoo. I was ready for this one. I said, man, boy, that's a great idea. I want one too. Well, you think I should get one on my right cheek or my left cheek? And they look at me and I got them real quiet. That's it.
Wasn't such a good idea for them then, huh? they were like, never mind.
I tell you, buddy, Zach, the human creation is the only creation that were given the gift of free will to choose.
Mm-hmm.
Free will to choose. We have as a gift. It's a skill. We just have to learn to make good choices.
Right.
Good choices. Choices that in the benefit for all concerned, not just for yourself. Too many people are living, they're so selfish. You know, like look at what's happening in our world today, right now in the news in Israel and Gaza. I cannot believe in this day and age that people are still killing each other like that in war. You know, that they can't get around the table and discuss and come and compromise and you know, come to an agreement verbally when you have little children are dying. Come on, people, wake up. You know?
Yeah, that's definitely true about just the nature of conflict and like how we choose to just perpetuate it, you know, where we don't
yeah,
we don't take the time to allow some other awareness to come in, you know, like we just allow the pain of the past, you know, to keep perpetuating, and it becomes the pain of the now, and then it becomes the pain of the future, and it just doesn't seem to go away, you know.
you
like
know,
yeah.
Zach, and you talk about conflict. You see, conflict is going to happen. In fact, as long as there's more than one person in the room, you're going to have some conflict. You're going to have difference of opinion. Even if you're by yourself, sometimes we have conflict with our own self. I want to do this. No, don't do that. I want to do this. No. I learned a very simple method of resolution, conflict resolution.
Okay.
And I learned it in the Japanese school system. They teach this in their system to the little kids.
Nice.
You know, and they take a pillow, and the pillow has four corners. On one corner, on the left-hand corner, somebody is there saying, I'm right. And on the other side, the other one, no, I'm right, you're wrong. And then the bottom left-hand corner, they say, we are both right. And on the bottom right-hand corner, no, we are both wrong. And in the middle, they say, it doesn't matter who is right or wrong, what's the best solution. So no wonder you don't hear a lot of revolution and disaster and crime in those countries, because they learn conflict resolution early in life.
Yes.
Early in life. You know, and that we need, you see, the education, I used to be a teacher in the education system. They would tell you that education is to prepare you for life. But all our life skills, where do we learn them? We learn them from our parents, from our friends, or pastors, or, you know, thank God, for me, one of the best things that happened to me, I joined the JC's organization. I didn't know anything about making a budget before I joined that organization. I did not know anything about project planning until I learned that organization. They taught me leadership. I learned leadership skills, both by, you know, doing it and by reading about it, by going to seminars and workshops. I got opportunity to stand up and speak and sharpen my speaking skills, kind of deal. I didn't learn those things in high school or college.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So we need to tweak our education system a little bit and really focus on getting our kids ready to go out there. Like coming up now, a lot of kids are going to graduate from universities with a good degree. They're going to go get a job, and they're going to say, "Okay, you got a degree. You're the leader now of the team." And they're like, again, the headline.
I've never led. Yeah.
You know, and they would not even hire a coach to coach this person to be a leader. So we have work to do with what, you know, we have work to do.
For sure. I agree with that on so many levels. I feel like that's definitely true. Like our education system is designed, it seems, to not really, it prepares us in some ways for sure.
Yeah.
But there's definitely huge gaps of the human experience that we're either it's not part of the formal education, and then anything that's actually modeled for us is either like grossly inaccurate or just perpetuates old ways of thinking, or they're just not there, like you said, like in the Japanese school system, they learn conflict resolution, and then there's a lot of other
Right.
education systems that don't even incorporate that. So yeah, as a world species, as a world culture, you know, like to start moving towards this direction of being more present and aware and like, you know, inclusive. It sounds maybe to some like a pie in the sky kind of like daydream, but I argue that it's absolutely what's going to have to happen. And I feel like the younger generations are totally on board with that. I feel like they're going to be like, it's not a pipe dream or anything. Like this is how this has to be. You know.
You know, I admire the millennials. You know how they hug one another more than the older people.
Mm-hmm.
They demonstrate more love for one another than we baby boomers kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they're not as discriminative as we are.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely like my nieces and nephews, and it just, I see it in my kids too. They're just one of my oldest sons today, his birthday as well. And yeah, just see like, because I hang out with them and their friends online and everything like that, and just to hear them speak, what they talk about, what they're thinking, yeah, all of that. Like, and I've hung around with like some of like 20-year-olds here recently in a group for a while. And yeah, the way they approach life, the way they think about things, like what they're going to demand from the world is radically different. And is definitely more from a place of love and inclusivity than what I grew up with. You know what I mean? That's for sure. You know, and I'm Generation X, I'm 42. So I'm in between you and them, right? So but I can see the perspective on both sides, and and look back to these younger guys and be like, well, for sure, like already their experience, just because of how they choose to view things, is wildly different, you know. And it's inspiring, I think, because for a while I was pretty antagonistic towards the species, to tell you the truth. I wasn't too hopeful. But I have to admit that
they enjoy life,
right?
And isn't that what life is all about?
For sure.
Enjoy.
Yes.
You know, in the 50s and the 60s, we were told, our parents, you got to go get a good education, go work hard, get a job, work hard.
Right.
Work hard. You know, and they measure their performance. Well, I haven't taken a day off in 5 years or 6 years kind of deal. That's how they measure their performance.
Yeah.
You know, and then they get burnout and they get a heart attack in their offices kind of deal, and they get sick and they wonder what's going on. Yep. You need to take a break now and again.
Yes.
Even Jesus Christ went up into the mountains and got away from the hustle and the bustle of the world. We all need that. That's why you have vacation time. Take it.
Right.
Spend time with one another. Eat, have a meal with one another. You know, and now with this COVID thing where people are spending more time at home, what an opportunity.
Right.
What an opportunity.
I agree
to spend
with that.
more quality time with your family. You know?
Yeah, and I find that interesting too, because there's I think for a lot of people it was kind of a shock, because they realized that like as they had to share proximity with the people that they were in relationships with, it was it became pretty challenging for them, because they didn't know how to relate, right? Like spend this time, like you say you love this person, you say that like you want to be close to them, but like now you've got that opportunity that's pretty much imposed on you, and that created a lot of dissonance for some people, because like they didn't know what to do with that. Like, you know?
But you know, we human beings, we are so creative. After we get over the shock, we will find ways to enjoy and make the best of the situation. You know, I like to tell people, before COVID, people spent in a 24-hour day, like the average person sleeps 7 hours. You know, you commute to work, maybe an hour going, an hour coming, so that's another, and you spend an average of 8 hours at work, but your mind is on the job.
Right.
So now, before COVID, you were only spending an average of 7 to 8 hours, 1/3 of the day in this home this is your biggest expense. If you're renting, it might be your highest bill you're paying. Your mortgage is the highest bill you're paying. Well, and you were not enjoying it. You were not making the most of it. Now enjoy it, people.
Right.
Enjoy
Right.
it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly that. How
You're
are you?
paying for it.
I know. How do we relate to things? That's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. Yeah, your home is your biggest expense, and yeah, you're away from it, and now you're in it. And yeah, that's coming from a place of gratitude, right? Just for having the what you have, like all the way around, for sure.
Yes,
And
sir.
yeah, that's a powerful place to come from. Yeah, it's the place to start really is just acknowledging what you got,
Yep.
Absolutely.
There's a Chinese proverb that one of my favorites said, "No man never injured his eyesight by looking at the bright side of things."
I love that. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, we need in every situation there are pros and cons. There are good and evil. We find what we look for. If we
Yes.
look for the good in this, we're gonna find it. But we tend to have a tendency to look for the bad.
Yes.
We need to get rid of that tendency and think, where is the good in this?
Mm-hmm.
Even when we are going through troubles and trials and tribulations kind of deal, we tend to ask, why is this happening to me?
Right.
I used to be like that, and then I started asking, what can I learn from this situation?
Right.
What can I learn from this situation? How can I grow out of this? And I have found out that every time I come out of it, I'm stronger.
Yes.
I'm stronger.
Yeah. I like the saying that, like, yeah, it happens. It's not happening to us. It's happening for us. It's the same
Amen.
idea, like
Amen.
where it's like, yeah, you got to look at it as an opportunity. Every struggle, every win, every experience you have is an opportunity.
Yes,
and
sir.
and it goes back to that power of choice. How are you going to choose to show up and look at it? Because like you said, you'll find what you're looking for. And if you can, come at things most of the time positive or all the time positive and look for that, find that silver lining. Because I mean, that's where the saying comes from. It's not just because somebody thought it was poetic, like it's because it exists. There's gold in everything. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for sure. I know that I've learned some of my biggest lessons through some of the hardest hardships, and that's what turns it from being something that I didn't appreciate, and kind of had this negativity towards, to being like, I'm so glad that happened. Like it wasn't fun, it wasn't pleasurable.
No, it was not.
Yet it totally gave me like this, and I wouldn't change anything. I would because that was gold. I needed that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I appreciate it. So, well, I guess, is there anything else you'd like to run with, or you want to feel like wrapping it up? Or
Yeah, I just want our listeners, our brothers and sisters out here to know life is like a stage. We are all on stage. Our family members, our friends, our co-workers, our neighbors, our strangers, they're all looking at us, at how we carry ourselves, how we behave, the tone of voice we use when we talk to people, and they're judging us. They don't know what's in our heart. They don't know what we are thinking. They don't know what our intentions are, but our behavior is sending messages. 70% of communication is nonverbal.
Yep.
If we can learn to manage our nonverbal communication a little more effectively, more efficiently, and send the messages that we want to send, and so that they will be interpreted the way we want it to interpret, this world will be such a more pleasant, peaceful place. Life is a stage, people.
Yeah.
And you, Zach, you, Lincoln, you, everybody out there, you are the star in the movie of your life. Make every day an Oscar-winning performance. Nobody can play you better than you.
Absolutely.
Stop trying to play somebody else and play you. You the star.
Yes.
In the movie of your life, man. Come on. Make every day an Oscar-winning performance. Thank you.
I love it. No, I appreciate it. Thank you, Lincoln. Was there any place where people can find out more about you on your website or
Well,
any
yeah,
other social media?
they can go to my website, www.hisbusinesspartners.com.
Perfect.
That's a good start.
Okay.
And they can contact me through the contact information there. And look, anybody want to have a chat. I do motivational speaking. I do social and emotional intelligence profile, one-on-one coaching. Actually, I have a program that I just launched. It's called Coach on Demand.
Okay.
And the idea behind it is that most of the executive coaches today, they want to tie you into a contract.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to leadership is not a one size fit all. Coaching is not a one size fit all also.
Right.
You know, not everybody needs to have 6-7 sessions a year. You know, sometimes it's just one session.
Exactly. Yes.
And so I'm telling people, let's talk.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk. I don't worry about fees.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let a fee be a deterrent for you. I like to work with people's budgets because I'm just here to serve my fellow man.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can't afford anything, I have done it for nothing.
Gotcha.
So
yeah,
I like to tell I work for donations,
Gotcha.
Contributions, but I don't work. I tell people, stop working, start performing.
Right.
Stop going to church, go to worship. What a big difference. Yep.
For sure.
Yeah, buddy.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Lincoln. I appreciate it. I'll put that link in the description on my IGTV and the YouTube and the podcast descriptions, so people will definitely have that to click on and get to you. So appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, appreciate it.
It was fun, and people could check out my book. It's titled With Passion.
Okay.
And it's not a lot of fluff. 7.5 tips on how to turn on the passion for your life, your work, for your prayer time, your worship time, your family, anything that you do. Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks, Lincoln. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, buddy. Have a good evening.
You as well.
God bless you and keep you.
Your knockout punch for today is to remember that you always have the power of choice. The power of choosing how you're going to show up, the power of choosing how you're going to react, the power of choosing how you're going to see yourself and others in your relationships, the power to choose to have or not have expectations, where through this conversation we explored how having expectations and the ideas of the way people should be can definitely get in the way and will get in the way of how your relationships unfold. Accepting things for as they are and accepting other people for who they are is a key piece of any relationship. That doesn't mean you don't have your own boundaries. It doesn't mean that you allow and tolerate things in your life that aren't suitable for you or that aren't in alignment with you. But it does mean that to experience true freedom and unconditional love within your own relationships, you allow others to be who they are without expectation or demanding that they change to suit your needs, because in turn, you wouldn't enjoy that being done to you. So that's your knockout punch for today. Thanks. All right, that wraps up today's episode of The Real Zack Olinger. Thanks again for listening. If you happen to find this episode insightful or valuable, I invite you to pass it along to somebody else, because chances are, if you found it valuable, they will too. If you're on Instagram, you can find me at The Real Zack Olinger. Until next time, everybody. Thanks for listening.